Namaste, welcome. Can everybody hear me? Thank you for being here. Can everybody hear me? Is the audio and visual good? Hello. This is just coming in. Hello. I would just like to test the audio and visual before I begin. Thank you for being here for this very important message announcement that I have to share, something very, very important. Thank you for taking your time today, for being here. This means a lot to me, to all of us. Thank you. Thank you for checking on that. Namaste. All of you who are coming here for the first time, welcome. And thank you for taking your time on the Sunday, whatever time it is in your side of the world. Thank you so much for being here today. This means a lot to me. Unlike my usual live sessions, once in a while I have to, come and share some important information, which is valuable for all of us. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about something very important, something a lot of us may have, pretty much if you've been following me for quite some time, you must be noticing the last few months I've been sharing a lot of information about what's going on in this world, and from a metaphysical point of view, I've been sharing that as well. So I'm just waiting for everybody to come in, okay, before I start talking about it. Now this video, don't worry if you are not able to share this live, or if you feel like you cannot see the whole thing, or even if it's not clear for some reason, don't worry about it, because I will be uploading this video on my YouTube channel so that more people can access it. For now, I'm just going live because I would like that interaction to be between us. Like when I'm done speaking, I would like to, take any kind of feedback and answer any kind of questions that you may have. So once again, this is a very sensitive topic. I remember, I don't know how many of you here have attended one of my lives many months ago where I was talking about something about cults. I don't know how many of you were there, but you know that that was one of the other important messages that I passed over then, and it reached out to many thousands of people. Today I have something far more important than that message. All right, and I want you to know that there is no right or wrong in how you perceive this message. Okay, it's entirely, I'm just going to swipe your comments away so I can pay attention to what I have to say. I will come back to your comments later. So see what I'm about to say. Firstly, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to take it in a particular way. Now, I don't know about your awakening journey. I don't know how spiritually evolved you are, because there's so many of you here, and many more who will be coming in to see this video. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, wherever you are right now, whoever you are right now, whatever your life is about right now, that's irrelevant. Okay? Because the reason why I'm coming over here to share this information is not because you lack something. It's not because you need to know something. It's not because you lack some information which maybe I figured out, vice versa. Because you see, we all have our own missions. You have yours, I have mine. People out there who are not even with us today have their own. So there is no right or wrong. We all have our own journey, and we know that. See, but the thing is, some things happen like puzzles around us. We're not given all the answers at one go by spirit, and there is a reason. One reason is because we are all here to evolve, and we don't really need all the answers. All right? At some point, our higher selves are able to understand that, and us, as we evolve as incarnates, we do not have to know yet. The other reason being that we will not be in a position to accept or understand or process the information as it is meant to be if we're given in a hurry all at one go. So what I'm here to say is, see, over the many years, I don't know, as I said, I don't know how many of you have been awakened for years or decades, or maybe your entire lifetime, I do not know. But you may have had your own visions, you may have had your own dreams which you can't understand, you may have your own downloads, okay? But we must remember, whatever be your journey, whatever faith you were born into, whatever your cultural and your social differences are, but at the end of the day, we are all from one source. We're just born into different stories, and we've come here so many times, or other dimensions. See, what I'm about to tell you may not ring a bell immediately, or it may. But I could have, this is not something that I'm so excited about sharing with you, but at the same time, it's not something I want to keep away from you. Now, before you start thinking, oh no, this is more bad news coming, it is not. All right? It is not. It's something that is there to pretty much excite each one of us. But to get to that point of excitement, to get to that point of feeling really good about what I'm about to say, you need to still get yourself prepared to process the information that I am about to give you. So why am I being given the information? Why isn't everyone else being given? Yes, we have all been given information in different ways, based on how we are to process it, based on how evolved we are, based on what we're going to do with that information. See, I have been in the spiritual community for quite a while. Some of you know me for more than a few decades. Some of you know me for a few years, some for a few months. But irrespective of that, I have always stayed away from, controversies. I've stayed away from any kind of major discussions in the community, simply because I always feel that, there is no right or wrong. I am not here to judge people, and I don't choose to be judged. And I feel like every one of us will evolve in our own ways. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's just ways to the same destination, right? Now, we have all come from different dimensions. There are hundreds upon thousands of dimensions. So may I request that if you ever felt confused about not being able to resonate with any of the few dimensional, communities that are present now online, if you have not felt you fit in anywhere and you're wondering where you belong, don't worry about it, because there are actually many, many more dimensions, okay? Now, what I'm going to say is, no matter which dimension we come from, we're in this planet right now. And as we all know, this planet is going through many changes. Some of us at this point, we're confused and scared, trying to protect our families, our loved ones, doing the best we can to go through this chaos, to navigate, to understand. Some of us are quietly going about doing our work, like me, healers and teachers. We quietly do our, trusting the highest good, trusting the universe to do what is best for all of us. And then there are some warriors who are out there, thinking, okay, we need to fight this. We need to fight everything that comes our way, because that's what we're supposed to do. Now, no matter what we choose to do, how we're responding or reacting to the entire scenario that's unfolding before our eyes is fine. I'm not here to say you're right and I'm wrong, vice versa. And I pray that all of you are here, whatever your beliefs in, whatever you choose to believe in, that you patiently listen to this, because this is something that I didn't cook up. All right? And this is something that I wish to share with all of you. See, because for a long time, as I said, I've been in this community, but I never ever got directly involved in anything, because I have always tried to stay away and do my work quietly. But I could not avoid the fact that there is a bigger picture right from the time, for a few years now, but to be very precise, right from the time COVID started in China, I had a feeling that I was supposed to look above that. So I kept my eyes open. I didn't allow myself to spend too much of time on it, but above it. And I kept doing the same thing, even through all of this year. I did that till now. I'm still doing it. I will do it. Now I'll tell you why. See, because when we are looking at the 3D picture of all the illusions at eye level, we're only focused on that. We get influenced by the energies around us. We start to absorb it whether we like it or not. You can only protect yourself so far because there's some stimulation from all ends, physical, metaphysical, so on and so forth. So what I did was I had to basically, because I was busy working. I didn't have a day off. I had to keep working no matter what happened around me. And I believe there was a purpose behind that. The purpose being that I had to stay above it. And I did. It wasn't a conscious decision every time. Sometimes I would watch the news because the family did. But at the end of the day, I figured, hey, I'm kept busy for a reason. If I'm not allowed to even sit down and watch TV for a few minutes, there's a reason why that's happening. So I started paying attention to that reason. I was constantly drawn away emotionally from everything that's going on around me. Some of you may have chosen, consciously to stay away from everything that's going around you so that you can keep your vibration up. Now, that is something that I did too, all right? Now, I'll tell you why this is so important. Because everything has an expiry date, all right? Everything in this plane has an expiry date. However, we choose to see it. That's the outcome. So how do we perceive this entire situation that's unfolding in front of us? I was able to put a lot of things together because I stayed a lot of time away from everything. When you are directly emotionally involved with any situation, even your personal situations, you'll notice that no matter how good a reader you are, how good a healer you are, you will not be able to effectively read into your own life decisions because your emotions get in the way. So you'll notice that even if you're a good reader whatsoever, you go out there and you're looking for someone else to help you with some answers, some validation, right? Now that's how it works. So in this situation, in this global situation, we're not exempted from that. Now, many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I think, that's when the spiritual community started coming out with people who started talking about the 5D Earth, right? I'm sure a lot of you would be aware of the 5D concept. So there was a lot of talk about a new Earth. So I was sitting here, I was going through everything they put out, just like you did, quietly watching without any judgment whatsoever. I was trying to comprehend it. I was trying to process it. And you know what was going through my mind? What was going through my mind was the fact that looking at things as the way they are, for that transformation, which is so massive. Now, you may be one of those people who believe in the 5D. Absolutely no offense here. In fact, I would like to say that at this point, I do agree. I do agree with the 5D concept, but there is a twist, and I'm coming to that. Now, we're talking about the 5D, and right now with all the things that are unfolding in our world, the 5D believers still believe that this is what's happening. Now, everything is just going to be purged, and everything is going to be rebuilt. Well, that seems fine, doesn't it? We don't have to go anywhere. We just have to watch everything burn down, everything flooded, everything, destroyed and then built right before our eyes, and how many people would actually accept it. Now, see, nature has its way of building itself up no matter what happens. We all know that. If there's a forest fire, like there was in Australia, over time, nature finds its ways to thrive again. But it takes a while. Everything takes a while, but it happens. Because you see, nature is not judgmental. Nature doesn't have an ego. Humans do. And at this point, if you look at the situation in our world, it's pretty chaotic because humans pretty much are on top of the cycle. And if you think of the 5D concept, right? If you think of the 5D concept, if you want everybody to be awakening, what is happening right now is more of a nudge than an awakening. Where is this nudge headed towards? Well, the nudge is headed towards different directions based on where each soul is going. But what I recently discovered is, see, I have been teaching about astral travel, astral trips, and for many years now, I've been teaching my students. And we have visited, and I have visited personally, the astral plane many times. I'm sure some of you have too. But in collaboration with a few things, I'm coming down to the point here, in collaboration with a few things. One thing is, every time I went to the astral plane, it didn't have to be the same place. It's just like an elevated version of where we're living now. We do have cities, we do have nature, we have everything that we would want in the astral plane. Everything. All right, the buildings, you name it, it's there. Why would you doubt that? Because all those people who are there are people like us, you and me. See, when we live here, we love certain things, don't we? We love certain things, certain way of life. We love it, we miss it. So when you move on to the other side, why would you deprive yourself of it? You're not going to be floating around in clouds. How long would you do that? And every time you can't come incarnating, you know. So while you're there in the astral plane, you can build your own replica of your own home here. Do whatever you want. It just manifests. So basically there are cities. That's just another world. A world that replicates ours. And that's just a small fraction of what it can offer. The astral plane is massive. It's like maybe 10, 15 Earths put together. That's how big it is. And it's got room for everybody. All right? Even if all of us go there, there is more than enough room for everybody. The point here is, some time ago when these events started happening around the world, and I started having these dreams, that's what I wanted to share with you. And I'm sure when I started this new group just a few days ago about the truth about 2020, see, I basically am one person who never pushes my ideas down people's throats, because I feel I have great respect for every soul. I have great respect for every incarnation. And I don't believe that anyone is lesser than another person. We're just here, we learn different things, and we come and we go. Okay? And we provide different services, resources to others. Now, so I had these dreams, which are pretty much, well, if you term it based on religion or whatever faith it is, apocalyptic, okay? So it always leaves a kind of restlessness, anxiety, depression, whatever you may call it. These were the feelings that were going through my mind every time I had those dreams. And these dreams kept reoccurring very often. I have seen visions of things that are unfolding now and things that are yet to unfold. I've seen all of these. But I never spoke much about that to people, because it's not a good thing to talk about. I mean, some of you who've had these dreams, you probably never talked to anyone about it, right? I mean, it's always been there in the back of your mind. You never talk about it to anyone. Now, I just want you to know one thing, though, that there is something called the end of times. There's an expiry of every planet. There's an expiry of every realm, all right? Now, we're here to evolve. All of us from different dimensions, we've come here to evolve. We've built dreams, we've built families, we've lived here for generations. Some of us have come here for many incarnations like me. We put in a lot of work. So we have an attachment. Obviously we do. This is our planet. This is where I've come before. You've come before. You are living here. I'm living here. We've built dreams. We've built our homes. We've built our families. We've built so many things, and we are going to. We've always planned ahead too. We all have dreams, right? We wish coronavirus would go away, so you can go about going your work and life can get back to normal, and whatever normal is. You can go back and build your dreams. You can see your children grow up or grandchildren grow up, whatever be your dream. I had those dreams too. I am a mother of 2 children, all right? And I've had dreams too. So before you start thinking, oh, she's going to come up with a lot of that whole woo-woo stuff, let me tell you this. The woo-woo stuff happens to me when I don't want it to, okay? So I had to process my own perceptions. I had to process the information first before I come to you and even talk about these things. But today I feel that all of us need to know about this. I don't expect this information to go out there and suddenly, like bombard the entire planet and everybody accept this and say, okay, here we go, I know what is happening. No, I don't believe that would happen. I don't expect it to happen. I believe it will be gradual. So I don't want to say, okay, this is the end of the world. But without even having to say any of that, I'm sure that a lot of you here today, my students, some of you are my students, some of you have been my clients for many years, some of you are friends of mine, and some of you have just been following me for a while. With great due respect, let me tell you this, that if you were to just sit down and meditate about this very calmly, no expectations, don't assume anything, okay? Don't even take my word for it. But I would want you to see above the situation that's happening in our world right now, and you will be able to see one thing, that the new earth is not a physical manifestation. The new earth is the astral plane. So this is a lot of things to process, isn't it? So when we think of the astral plane, we think of death, we think of, well, it's the end, so we are all going to die. That's what we are thinking. Well, that's what I don't want you to think. I believe it's one of my missions here, is to help you to not think that way. And that is exactly why I want to sit here and share this information with you. See, when we go through a purging in the planet, like we're going through right now, there has to be a collapse of a structure. And looking at everybody out there, including us, everybody evolves differently. We all evolve differently. And when we evolve differently, we have different ways of accepting things, information, even what I just told you. So when we think about, oh, the new earth now, a lot of people say 5D. 5D is supposed to be an elevated version, an amazing, magnificent new earth. The amazing, magnificent new earth is the astral plane, which we have as the one consciousness created into a place where we can move to, because that is, well, our transit point before we all leave to wherever we came from. Why does this have to happen now? Why now? Why suddenly? Why wasn't I informed about this? Why wasn't anybody informed about this? Well, you know, sometimes we don't understand everything that Spirit does. We're not meant to. But these are collective dreams, you see. This is not just my imagination. When I started talking to people about this, and I've been doing this for a while, and when I started the group too, it's a closed group, but there are a lot of people who started talking about things that they never thought they could speak. They wanted to know if this is a private group. Can I come here and talk? Can I come and say this? Can I come and say that? I said, please do. That is the reason why we're here. We need to be able to come together in pain, not just pleasure. We're not here just to share each other's, vibrations and, hey, I'm from this and I'm that master and I'm this and I'm that. No, we are here to share the pain. We're here to share our fears. And it's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be confused. Whatever you're feeling right now. But I'm coming to the point here. How do we make it through this? How do we navigate? Is there no choice but to die? Well, death basically has always been the end of an incarnation. You know why death occurs? Death occurs when a person has completed his or her mission and the vibration has reached a point where that particular form, as in the shell, does not or cannot contain that vibration of that being and therefore expels. And that expulsion is what we call as death, which occurs naturally when there's a death, the separation between the body and the soul. Right? Now that's death. So everything is reliable on vibration. Your vibration, my vibration, doesn't matter who or not. Everybody. All right? That is, so why did death have to happen all this while to all of us and not anymore? I have shared, if you've been following my posts, I kept saying things like, death doesn't have to be the only way that we will be going to the other side. And that's one of the things I shared. The other thing that I shared was the veil is thinning between the astral plane in us. So many more of us will have these supernatural experiences. Now, if you were to connect all the dots that I'm saying, you will notice that there is a pattern indeed, and that those are the dots that I connected. So I'm leaving all of this information out for you to process it as you will, at your pace. You can do whatever you want with that information. I'm just leaving information here so you can take it to you, sit down, meditate, do whatever you need, ask your spirit guides, talk around with the people you know, whatever you need. The veil is thinning, number one, right? Number two is look around you. There's so much of chaos. It's not just about if you're just going to look at people who are protesting, people who are doing this, people who are doing that, the conspiracies, if you don't look at just the people. You see, because people are here to also stimulate. They all have a mission. Every person out there who's protesting is part of a stimulation that has to take effect. To be able to influence a certain amount of energy, a vibration, and input into the grand pattern. Okay? So we're not going to be pointing fingers at who's right and who's wrong. We're going to look at the fact that there's way more happening around us than just people causing chaos. Chaos has to happen for change to happen. There's something called chaos theory. The flutter of a butterfly's wings can cause a tornado on the other side of the planet. Okay? This is science. So I just wanted to tell you that if you just join the dots, connect the dots. The veil is thinning and it will keep thinning. This is something that all of you will first start to experience, even if nothing else affects you. All right? Whether you meditate or not, whether you're an evolved being or not, it doesn't matter. You will notice that you're having supernatural experiences, and these supernatural experiences will increase to the point that by the end of this year, almost all of us living will have one supernatural story at least to share, because the veil will keep thinning. So what happens when the veil keeps thinning? When the veil keeps thinning like it does, you're going to be, seeing everybody. You'll be seeing loved ones, your loved ones, who you miss, who you grieve. Okay? You will meet them because they will be more than happy to see you. It's like the doors are finally opening for everybody. So, what do? You get to meet them, you get to talk to them. It no longer becomes a pain. It becomes a bliss, it becomes joy. It becomes excitement, thrills. And what happens then? Some of us may look at it in a fearful way. Some may get so excited about the final meeting point, like there's a reunion and I'm still alive and I'm actually seeing you. Imagine that. That is definitely going to happen soon. And that is why I said that there's going to be a lot of visitations. Some of you are already seeing them in your dreams more often. Some of you hear them, feel them. It's just going to keep increasing. So that's one exciting thing that's coming up for all of us, regardless of where you are, what you will do, who you are. It doesn't matter. You meditate, you don't meditate, whatever. These are experiences that are open to all. Now, if you meditate, your vibration is going to go higher, so it just increases the possibility of you having these experiences more often. So vibration does matter. Number 2 is you will be given options to leave. So how will I leave my family and go? See, these emotional attachments is what we keep in this world, and we don't have to be hard on ourselves for it, because we all do have it. Because we all, like I said, have come here repeatedly over and over again. And we have incarnated, we have put so much effort into this, even in this lifetime, we built so much ones. So naturally we are going to have attachments. But the good news is, by 2025, we would have every single one of us walked across to the astral plane. Mark my words. You can sit here and come back to this video later, maybe in 2024, I don't know when, but this is what's going to happen. So the new earth, my sweet darlings, is the astral plane. I say this with as much conviction as I can stress with right now, and I am excited to inform you this. Now, how you process this information is entirely up to you. You can ask your guides, you can ask your connections. But those of you darlings who've been going around talking about this 5D earth and putting so much of hope and dreams into it, there is nothing wrong with any of your hopes and dreams. It's just that you were not prepared then to receive the information that it is not going to be this earth that will be transformed into a 5D new earth, but that we will all be walking in. It'd be a walkthrough into the other side. We would not have to shed our skins, because that would happen automatically as we shift to the other side. The density will change. Now, what happens to it? How does everybody go? There are all kinds of people. You might be wondering, so everybody just goes and it's the end of the story. Well, not everybody walk in, because there will be fear, there will be ego, there will be doubts, there will be confusion. People will still be out there fighting. But all of this is supposed to happen. Please do yourself the big favor of not allowing any of the things that is happening around you to influence you as far as possible. Because I just want you to look at it from above the picture. When you look at it from above, you will not be affected by what's going on around you. Instead, you know that this was all meant to happen. Why is this world coming to end right now? Good question. But I would ask you, when I asked Krishna this question, why now? He only asked me, why not? A blank expression just like this. Just, why not? You have a problem with me or anyone else deciding that this is going to end right now? I didn't have an answer for that, because honestly, I don't think any of us do. If it's time, it's just time. And they are being so gracious to just help us walk through this whole thing, instead of making us all burn to death or whatever, you know? I think it's a good deal. So this is what I have to say, and I know it's a lot to process for some of you. Some of you may have had these visions for some time. Yes, there's going to be a lot of damage. Yes, there's going to be a lot of chaos. Yes, there's going to be a lot of damages. And not everybody is going to walk through. Some will have to pass. But then those who pass away, they have signed up for it. So if you're worried about your families, if you're worried about how you're all going to be together and protect your children and everything, I would say the least you need to do is have faith. Because as you see the veil thinning, you will know for yourself. How do you know what kind of walkthrough this would be? There will be portals. There are portals in every home across the world. There are portals everywhere, random portals everywhere. Now these portals will be the ones that will open up for you as the veils thin down. You will be you will be drawn by either your loved ones in spirit who will come and call you. You will be drawn. Now children will be more enticed by the whole experience, because children are very open. So little children will be definitely enticed by this, because they have such innocence, the purity of spirit in them, you know, and they would look at all of this in awe, in beauty. But one thing I can tell you is, if you're going to ask me, oh, so can I come back and keep walking back and forth? No. Once you walk through that portal, you cannot come back, because the portal shuts on the other side. So yes, in a way it's considered like death, but you just walk through it in flesh. So that's the only thing that you need to remember. Do not be afraid when you see spirits, because it's just a sign for you and me that things are changing. Okay? Now, if you have any questions for me, you may ask me. I would be happy to answer. I'm just looking at your comments now. Do you have any questions for me? Danielle, I know, I understand. Yes, we are all relieved, but there is a certain sadness, because, yeah, like I said, I mean, why wouldn't we be sad? Why would we not be sad? Because we all have built our dreams here. We've come and gone here. This is what we have called home for many, many decades. Well, Lisa, all of these words, rapture and all of that, rapture seems like, yes, we're ascension. It's ascension where the body, we can walk away with our bodies. All right? If you ask me, so where do we drop the bodies? I have no idea. I haven't seen it yet. But this is as much information as I could. Yes, Misty. Yes, so I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. This is like a huge burden. I wouldn't say burden, like a huge responsibility. One of my missions to have gathered all these. It took a long time for me to actually gather all of this information slowly, and fit the dots, try to connect all the information, because you see, we're all one. It doesn't matter whether you believe in the 5D concept or you don't believe in it, or whatever you believe in right now. There has to be a reason, right? We all come from spirit. We all come from the same source. So if somebody is given the 5D concept maybe 5 years ago, and then here I am sitting over here and I'm looking at the veil thinning and I'm giving that information too. And then on the other side I'm seeing all of these things that are happening around the world. You start to connect the dots. I don't say the people who believe in the 5D New Earth is lies. How can it be lies? There has to be something above that. So that is how I looked at it, you see. Well, by 2025, I believe it's the closure of this plane, so the last person would have walked out. That's what I feel. No, nobody's staying, Lisa. Nobody's staying here. It's not going to be the 144,000, all of that. That has been scrapped. That's what I feel. That entire thing has been scrapped because everybody is going to go back home. No more incarnation, Cheryl. That depends, because you see, there are so many hundreds upon dimensions that we can incarnate into after we leave. So I believe then again it's our choice, what we want to do with ourselves. Already. Now, will everyone in our lives also be with us in the astral? Yes, absolutely. Already, yes. That is an answer I want to give everybody. Yes, all your loved ones, including your pets, everyone who's alive, everything that is alive here, will be taken to that plane. Well, sure, Earth as such will just, be as barren as the moon, I guess, after a long time of going through all of this, that it's going to go. This is just the beginning. So I cannot see that now. I just know that it will be barren like the moon. I'm just seeing a rocky space. Now, please, all of you out there who can, you have great clairvoyance, if you have your intuition, if you can put your input here, sweetheart, so that I at least have some people here who can share my viewpoint, I would love that. Doesn't have to be just me who does this talking. Yes, Vivian, it's free will if we want to reincarnate in other planes, because for now, it's like the expiry of a planet. It's not expiry of our souls. It's just that we have to leave. Mel, no, not by it. It has already started. It has already started. Okay. People are seeing these walkthroughs. Some of the more higher evolved souls who have concluded their missions here have started walking away. Absolutely, Lisa, we will. So we will still go to evolve. Yes, Cheryl. Yes, for now, yes, Abby. Well, the Mother Nature, Mother Earth basically has to rest. I think it's her time to rest, which is the reason why she has been purging everybody. Physical well-being occur? I don't understand, Pat. So, by the divine grace, and this is almost making me emotional, by the divine grace, all of us seated here will soon meet in person as a reunion, all of us, with our families. We will meet on the other side. May the divine will this, It doesn't matter where we come from, what we're doing now, what our lifestyles is. We met online on the internet. I've always wanted to meet a lot of you. Haven't had the opportunity to, and was supposed to do the tour this year, and I can't. But what I keep telling myself is I will meet you all. I just know I will. But we will meet on the other side. Yes, please put all the dots together. Ricky's right. Please put all the dots together that I've just said, okay? Just remember the veil is thinning. It will keep thinning. You just need to observe that. Don't have to go by what I said right now. I'm just telling you that you need to connect the dots, okay? This is not about me putting out information and telling you have to believe these things. I just want you to connect the dots. You will start to have more and more supernatural experiences. Don't be startled by it. That's how it's supposed to start off, because the more we start to see, the more we will be able to move away. All right? No, it's not like a punishment, Abby. It's more like, how do I say this? Evolution just has a way of doing it. There has to be an end, just like there had to be a beginning. That's it. Yes, Jack. Right. There will be a lot of us who will increasingly see our loved ones in spirit. And this is the beginning of that. Hug you back. Thank you so much. You have no idea what this means to me, that all of you are here today just talking to me and asking me these questions and listening to me so patiently, because as much as I have worked so hard to get here to this point, to receive all of this love and respect, it's also very anxiety driven, to pass on some important information like this, because yes, like some of you here before I even went live have been reassuring me. You've been saying things like, it doesn't matter how they respond, Ayesha, let them all take their message in their own way, but you go out there and do your work. And I mean, you amazing people, you're still here online with me, so thank you so much, because it means a lot to me that you're all here and supporting and understanding what I have to say. And because I don't want to look like I'm pushing my ideas on you. I'm just telling you all to go out there and do your own research, because I think that's more important. Each one is a journey. This is still a journey for each one of us. It's just that one of us just puts the dots together and say, hey, you know what, I think it's this, so I want you all to go out there and discover this yourself. Okay? So yes, it's another important thing that I wanted to tell you all. So some of you probably have had readings from me or other people, like maybe in the last 1 year or less, maybe a few months ago, and you would have asked a lot of questions about your career, whatever, your life generally, right? Now, pay attention to this one too, please, because this is important. This may apply to a lot of you who are trying to figure out what's going on with your personal lives. Now, some of you, have been asking for readings, have had your readings from me, from other readers. Now, the thing is, these predictions, for logical reasons, since we're going through this now, for logical reasons, a lot of things will be changing. We all came here with dreams. We all have dreams for the future. We want, we're going for further studies or expanding our business, work, career, families. We want to see this, we want to see that, do that for our children, all kinds of plans. Now, let me tell you one thing, please. All right? Again, you can ask your guide, your spirit guides. If you don't know how to ask your spirit guides, just trust your intuition. If you feel lost, if you feel like you're not able to manifest things as fast as you're used to, if you feel like you suddenly don't feel inspired by your same career that you've been pursuing, or the dreams or studies or plans, if you feel like whatever you're planning for the future doesn't seem to be manifesting, it's because of what's happening right now. It's because of what is to come. So don't have to worry so much about it. Because you see, what is happening in this universe, in this world right now, is we're all being driven, re-guided into what is needed for us from now on till the time we leave. And all our paths are being changed rapidly. So it's a lot of work for our spirit guides, a lot of work for our guardians and guardian angels, a lot of work for the ascended masters to redesign this entire thing. Okay? So this is very important to notice, that if you feel like your path is shifting, like your career or business that you put in a lot of time does not seem to be going the same direction, if you feel like even with careers, even with children, any plans that you've asked for readings from me or anybody else, you see like these things are not manifesting, don't panic, because Everybody's charts are being revised. Everybody's charts are being revised so that we are here only to do what we need to do. Only what we need to do. So don't panic. Make the best out of what this realm has to offer you and me. All right? Make the best out of it. And be close with your families, because we will be seeing them on the other side, but over the other side we will be families only for a little while. We all will just want to move on and reincarnate, do our things. So have fun with your family. You will still have fun with them on the other side, but it's limited. We all move on. It's different. Our way of thinking is different on the other side. So this here is the time we have, is you just make the best out of it. These are memories we will carry with us. All right? And even this actually started happening much more. These dreams started happening more for me since last September. That's when the dreams started happening. But I've had these visions, which I've shared with some people for many years now, 2 or 3 years. I didn't at that point of time think it would be so soon either. I wasn't given that kind of clarity. Then again, I'm whatever, I'm more evolved or whatever you may think I am, I'm still here like all of you. And I do have my own lessons to learn, my own mission to do. So I don't have to be some expert in anything. So we will all be only given information which we're ready to process and learn from. So that is why now I'm given this, and I felt like I put everything together. I sought a lot of blessings. I sought prayers. I did pray a lot. Even before coming live today, I prayed, and I would be able to deliver this message in as and comprehensible a manner as possible, to be able to not put anything but love and peace towards all of you. Please do not, I beg you, to not take this as someone with ego who's trying to just give you information because I so-called know. I don't know. I just put everything together, and this information will now be available to everybody. You can do your own research. That is all there is. Yes, we will remember. Andrea, the other side is just beautiful. It's a dream. It's also a replica of our world, part of it. Like I said, there are about 15, 16 Earths put together. Each Earth contains a different version of it. Some are just nature, some are just fantasy, some are anything you want to create. But I have definitely seen cities just like ours, which are much more beautiful, and I've been there a lot of times. And so I feel assured that we're all going to a much better place for sure, without any of this ego, any of these things that we're going through, simply because it's the expiry of this planet. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you need me to? So basically we have 5 years. I'm reading your question. So basically we have 5 years to enjoy Earth, enjoy traveling, visiting places. Yes, Helena. Well, over here, in this realm, don't make it look like death. The typical death scenario. Don't make it look, don't go there. Please, I beg you, all of you, don't look at this as death. I want you to look at this as just moving on. Moving on. We're just going to walk away. There's not going to be grief per se. Okay? Yes, Vivian, yes. I don't know how many of you here believe this 5D new Earth concept. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people or even you do believe in it, but and I wasn't able to resonate with it, to be very honest. There have been a lot of times when I've questioned it, like what is missing in this 5D Earth? Why don't I resonate, and why do a lot of people resonate? I never ever compare my spiritual journey with that of others, but if I'm missing some information, I always try to connect the dots, look for it. And this is where finally, after so many years, I was able to see this. Melissa, is there anything any of us can do for you as you guide us? Well, if all of you, I don't know how many of you are actually part of the group. I'll put the link up after this again for those of you who are interested in what I just said, and you feel like you want to come together as a community during these times, because as I said, it should also be because we come together in fear. We should never have any doubts about feeling alone in this. So yeah, I'll put up a so we can all come together, and it'll be an everyday thing. As long as there's an internet, as long as we all still can connect like this, I'll be more than happy to guide. Will people who don't go in the portal go to spirit world, live on that? That is a spirit world, KZ. That is, astral is a spirit world. What we call as a spirit world now, because even now we're looking at it as something that people go to after they pass away, right? That's why we call it the spirit world, but it's basically just the astral plane, which is a much more beautiful and definitely a high vibrational earth. Yes, Sandra. This earth needs a break, Sandra. You know, pretty much used all of its resources. It needs to heal. It's going to take a long time for it to heal. And there are so many. This is not the very first time that our souls have experienced this. Lemuria, Atlantis, those of you who've been there, you remember. You know, in the back of your mind, you do. Things like that happen to other civilizations, other communities, other realms. It does. It's not like it's happening only to this world because we're condemned or something. No, it happens. Okay? Well, Pat, people with illnesses will not have illnesses on the other side for obvious reasons. It's all karmic. Bonnie, I'm sorry, but I didn't see your messages. My inbox keeps getting flooded. Yes, Days. Well, Georgino, great question. What do we focus on from now? Be more observant, okay? Don't absorb, but observe. When we observe with love, when we observe with this calmness, knowing this information, see, my thing was to just put out this information and let you all go back and, you know, figure this out in any way that you are drawn to. Do not take my words for it, okay? There is a lot of information out there. I'm just putting this out there. So there's one more resource for you to take, absorb, observe, and understand what resonates with you. That's how spirituality is. It's one journey for each soul, and that soul is respected for whatever. At the end of the day, it's all the destination. We just choose different paths, and that's okay. All right. So I'm also just humbly leaving this information, so you can take this information and process it, however long you want to. It's up to you. All right. I don't understand your question. We're going to be born, or just as we are the same age, do we have a body? Shama, I don't understand what you just said. Awake, not awake, Lisa, it doesn't matter. This whole awake and unawakened thing is just for evolution. It's like it's just a, how do you say it, a requirement for evolution. Once this whole veil comes down, it doesn't matter who you are. Because even awake or unawakened people still go to the spirit world after they are done. Thank you. What about twin flames? Is there any way of getting together in these 5 years? Kavita, twin flames or not, everybody's going to be on the same side. So yeah, pretty much like everybody will be seeing their twin flames. So hey, you know. Is there anything else you need to know before I would like to answer as many questions. Please feel free to share this video on Facebook or anywhere you deem fit. I will just keep this on my YouTube channel as well. Just so you wish to, if you can't find the link on my timeline, because I understand it keeps scrolling downwards after a point of time, so it will be easier for you to just go to my YouTube channel and click on the link and share it whenever possible. Now, see, I know that when I put this video out, I know that it's not going to be received instantly by everybody, thousands of people overnight. I don't expect it. Like a lot of things, it just grows on people. So over time, as and when they experience different things, and so they want to look for answers, they will be drawn to this video, and then they will understand it when they should. So for you all, well, you were supposed to be here now for some reason, and there you are. What about our dreams and goals? Should we? Well, Georgina, like I said, you see, your guides will lead you through what is needed of you. while you're still here. It won't ever be what you want. Don't keep fighting for what you want. That will be a struggle. Why struggle? Whatever you're drawn to, naturally go for it. Thank you, Adrian. God bless you. What will happen with my 3 grandchildren? All of them will come home. Everybody, especially the babies. Children are so pure. They will have absolutely no issues about understanding this. Even if they don't understand this, it's great. It's home for them. They would love to go. Of course, they will come back and say, oh, my mom and daddy are here, I can't go. They will come running back, and that's why mommy and daddy will get a chance to go too. Right? But each family, it'll be different. There was another thing that I was questioning about why in 2020, and there was a lot of loss of lives, and I was told by Krishna that there's a need for a lot of souls on the other side, because there's going to be a lot of work on the other side, and all of these beautiful souls have volunteered to be on the other side during these times. Because imagine how many of us have to leave, and how much of support is needed from spirit to help each one of us along in our own ways. So definitely we'll be having a lot of spirit activity around all of us. Yes, Sharifa, I understand that it's going to all come into manifestation as it should for our highest good. So this is a test. The shift is a test for the ego. It's a test for our faith in spirit. It's for a test to see how much we trust our own souls and journey. We had 2 babies born in the family this year. Yes, they will all be with their families. Bonnie, I want all of you who are thinking, like you'll be separated from your families. No, you won't be separated from your families. If you're taken, if a portal is open, it allows the whole family to go through. Unless there's somebody who's radically, ignorant or radically refusing to walk through, then they will have to go through their own journey, but it's a choice. It's a free will. Nobody is pushed to walk through that portal. Nobody will be forced. The portals will open. When you're ready, just walk in. But once you walk in and you go to the other side, there's no coming back. Ganesha, thank you. See, this is the kind of confirmation people like me need, because coming out here and saying something like this and then not having anybody resonate, or be able to have gone through something similar, it that's what causes the you start wondering, what am I doing? But I really appreciate that ever since I even started that group, a lot of people have been trying to give me confirmations. I've been reaching out, and that's wonderful. So if you have been experiencing similar signs, and please feel free to speak about it, feel free to discuss about it, even here. Zoila, I have no idea. I have no idea how long I'll be here. Okay? But I know that nobody's going to be here after 2025, and we're almost halfway through, so give or take, we all have just 4 years or so, a little more than 4 years. Melissa, all of this anxiety, fears, it's normal. It's normal because we have been here, we're still living here, Slowly we will detach. We will detach to the circumstances. We will detach from the idea of grief and pain and death. We will accept this more of as the end of evolution, not the end of our souls. Well, everything we have now and have pre-planned for the future years past 2020, should we just plan our lives for 4 or so years? Well, Casey, don't worry about all of that. Don't ask so many questions about what happens. Just go with the flow. Enjoy every moment, as in, like, go with the flow. Yes, we still are here for 4 years, and we need to eat, we need to still pay our bills, whatever is going on, we need to raise our kids and whatever that is there. But don't just keep having these plans and expectations come with disappointments, obviously. So that is why a lot of people are disappointed, they're confused, and that's causing all the anxiety, the depression, the fears, the restlessness, the anger, hatred. That is what's happening, you see. Why? One question that I have to ask, like, there are a lot of people out there who are protesting about these masks, right? Protesting about these lockdowns, about COVID. Why is that even happening? Because people are scared. They're scared of, how do I make a living? Why am I being restricted? So how will I go make a living? How will I do this? How will I see? When you go with the flow, you don't have to fight anything. Because when there's an end of evolution, what are you even fighting? You're fighting against the universe. You might say it's the governments who are asking me to not go out, not the universe. Well, the governments obviously are people too. They're part of the one consciousness. They're not separated from us. When there has to be an effect, there has to be a cause. When we look at everything as a cause, then we'll understand the cycle of evolution. There's always a bigger picture. Always will be. No, not just with this dimension alone. With any dimension go through, there will be a cause to bring about an effect. Okay? Yes, exactly, Ganesha. All of these fears. See, but I understand. I don't want you all to think that, she's just talking about something that, that's flying over my head. Like, I still have bills to pay. I still have this. Yes, of course, I do have bills to pay too. I'm not sitting over here thinking, okay, from tomorrow I'm not going to do any work. I'm just going to sit in a corner and watch my kids grow up. No, I'm not. I'm still working. I'm still chock-a-block in my career, in my work. I mean, business. I'm still raising my kids. My kids still have online school. We still do the things we need to do. We need to do. Period. Okay? Well, Shar Papas, one thing I can tell you is, don't worry about any of your loved ones, because Spirit has got all of us. All of us. Let us not fall into that mental conditioning that, oh, you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to be evolved, you have to be, righteous and this and that in order to ascend, and everyone else is left behind. No. Remember, there are some things in Scripture that we should not forget. Like what Jesus went and saved when looking for that one sheep, leaving his herd behind. Just remember that one sheep. Every one of us matter. Every. They can call you sheeple, they can call you anything. But to an ascended master once upon a time, that one sheep mattered. He went back for it. So they will not leave any one of us behind, because all of us form the one consciousness. All of us. Let's remember that. Okay? Let's not even think that any one of our loved ones or we are going to be left behind because they're in prison. The person's bad, the person's an addict, the person's narcissistic, the person's out there protesting, the person's doing this or believing something else, the person's dark. Never think that way. We are all evolving. While we were here, while we are still here, we will go through the evolution till the last moment, and then things change for everybody as it should. And we are all going back home to the same place. Once we are on the other side, things will change for the better. So may we all rest our minds and just look forward to this blessing to come through. And may we all, in grace, for whatever we have lived for, our loved ones, ourselves, the dreams that we built. If I was you, I would touch every brick in my house. Every brick in my house. I would touch everything in my house, because it's ours, It's an experience. That's what we should be doing. Be grateful for what we're going through. Be grateful for this planet, for what it has given us over many generations, over thousands and thousands of years. It's a time to be grateful. It's the time to give thanks to every brick in our home, every soil under our feet, every person that we're with, whether we like them or hate them. Because once we are on the other side, everybody's story changes. We're no longer the narcissist. We're no longer the little child. We're no longer the person behind prison bars. We're no longer the patient in the hospital who's critically ill. No, we're all one. So be grateful for the experience that this world has given us. Be gracious about how you perceive what is happening in this world. And before you know it, we will all be on the other side. Some of us who are not awakened out there, those who are not awakened, may even be just find themselves on the other side of the portal. You know, that could happen too if there's too much of denial. See, Spirit is very kind. Spirit is way more kind than any of us can ever perceive at this point while we are still in the flesh. They will not ever hurt any one of us. And this is a time where we need to trust that. All right? So this is all that I have to share. And I hope that I have done my best. I pray God, I pray to the Ascended Masters, whomsoever has driven me here to this moment of having gone through years of trying to figure this out and finally here at this moment. I thank everybody from Krishna to all the Ascended Masters, Archangels, everyone, for granting me this opportunity to share this message with all of you. And I pray that all of you will be able to take this message and perceive it in any way your blessed soul would best understand it and move forward. We will be together as long as we can, because at a point of time I know that the internet and things like that will be a problem, but we will be connected as soul families. All right? Melissa, yes, there will be cases where it's a good question. Thank you for bringing that up. Melissa, she was asking if people be missing. See, I don't know about this, but I'm not so sure. So if any of you have more information on this, let me know. Now, about a few days ago, I was reading about the California fires. All right, and those of you out there, you might be knowing this better. Now, there was some article, I do not know if it's true or false, about 200 people who went missing and they could not be located. Now, under such circumstances, that's when I felt like they would have gone through a walkthrough to the astral plane, because it's under these kind of circumstances that Spirit just jumps right in and thinks it's an opportunity to grab people and take them to the other side. So if you ever read something about these kind of incidents where people just go untraceable, or you feel like people are missing, this is exactly what's highly possible that have happened. So don't it's not death. If you even read into these situations, you will know. There are many readers out there, I know. So if you read into this, feel it, meditate over it. This was something that went through my mind when I read that particular article about 200 people who went missing, and the firefighters, or nobody can trace them, or they felt lost or something. They're not lost. I just felt like these kind of incidents would mean that they walk through. It's used as an opportunity to walk away from this. So I believe it's already started. This whole process has already started of people walking away. So it's not something that is yet to come. It's already started. And so yeah, please don't be startled by any supernatural experiences, okay? And try your best to meditate and raise your vibration, rise above the situation. That's the best way that you can that you can actually get through. Thank you, Ganesha. They were rescued by plane. Okay, Kate. Okay. So I believe this what I'm trying to confirm is there will be cases where people have actually walked away. So it's not something that is new now. All right, people would have actually walked away. So thank you so much. And is there any other question? Will our Earth reinvent itself after 2025? Oh, it'll take a long time, Vivian. A very long time. Well, I try my best, you know. I try my best. I I don't know. I mean, when I was coming live over here, and there were a few close friends of mine who told me this one thing is, it doesn't matter, Ayesha, how people take this. What you feel good about at the end of the day is you've done your part. At least you don't carry the burden, the pain of, you know, refraining yourself from giving out information that you need to put out. So this is what it is. And please feel free to share this video. And you know, if you need anything else, you can go to the private group where I keep posting. I try to avoid posting other stuff similar to this. Let's see how people respond to this video before I go on and post anything more after this. All right, so thank you so much. It's an honor to have you here. This really means a lot to me, and I humbly pray for all of you. And please find peace in this whole chaos that we're going through. There is peace at the end of this. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. I love you all with all graciousness. Namaste.